One day, as Cadaver Joe was rummaging through his collection of ancient supplements and mysterious potions, he stumbled upon an old, dusty scroll. This scroll, as luck would have it, contained a forgotten spell that could summon an army of the undead. Cadaver Joe, in his confusion, mistook it for a recipe for his favorite soup. Meanwhile, in the heart of Liberty Heights, Donald Triumph, the city's primary protector, was attending to his daily duties at Triumph Tower. Known for his strength, leadership, and patriotic fervor, Donald Triumph was the stalwart defender of the city against its myriad villains. He was in the middle of a strategic meeting with Liberty Lass and the Bug Busters when an urgent message arrived. "Donald, you need to see this," said Liberty Lass, her torch of hope shining brightly. She handed him a magical communication device showing a live broadcast from the Eternal Crypt. On the screen, Cadaver Joe was waving the ancient scroll in the air, mumbling about increasing soup production, while unwittingly summoning a horde of skeletal minions from the depths of the swamp. The confused lich, surrounded by the growing army of undead, was creating chaos within the crypt, threatening to spill out into Liberty Heights. The skeletons, newly risen and utterly bemused by their surroundings, began to exhibit their own brand of mischief. One skeleton, its jaw hanging loose in an eternal grin, found a pair of old, discarded bones and began drumming on a nearby sarcophagus. The rhythmic clattering echoed through the crypt, drawing the attention of the other skeletal minions. Seeing their companions' antics, more skeletons joined in. Some picked up bones and used them as drumsticks, creating a cacophony of rattles and thumps. Others started to dance, their bony limbs clicking and clacking as they moved in an eerie yet oddly cheerful manner. The once solemn crypt was now a scene of undead revelry, with skeletons drumming on anything they could find. Coffins, ancient urns, even the decrepit stone walls. Cadaver Joe, oblivious to the chaos he had unleashed, continued to wave the scroll, his mutterings growing louder. The skeletal orchestra reached a frenzied pitch, their bony limbs a blur as they danced and drummed with wild abandon. It was as if the crypt had turned into an undead festival, with Cadaver Joe as the unwitting master of ceremonies. This bizarre spectacle unfolded on the screen, leaving Donald Triumph and his allies both amused and alarmed. "This has to be one of the strangest threats we've ever faced," Liberty Lass remarked, shaking her head with a mixture of wonder and concern. Donald Triumph nodded, his resolve hardening. "It's time to bring an end to this skeletal jamboree and restore order to Liberty Heights." Donald Triumph sprang into action, his eyes blazing with determination. "Liberty Lass, gather the Bug Busters! We need to contain this threat before it reaches the city." Within moments, the team was ready. Lady Arachnid, Captain Sting, and Beetle Brawn joined Donald Triumph and Liberty Lass as they set off towards the Eternal Crypt. Their journey took them through the treacherous muck of the swamp, where they had to navigate both bureaucratic hurdles and literal quicksand. As they arrived at the crypt, they were met with a sight both comical and terrifying. Cadaver Joe, still holding the scroll, was now directing his skeletal minions to fix the soup kitchen, causing utter mayhem. The undead army, taking his orders literally, had begun dismantling parts of the crypt and reassembling them into a grotesque semblance of a kitchen. "Enough!" bellowed Donald Triumph, his voice echoing through the crypt. The minions halted, their empty eye sockets turning towards the heroic intruders. Cadaver Joe squinted at Donald Triumph, a flicker of recognition in his hollow eyes. "Is that you, Corn Pop?" he asked, mistaking Triumph for an old rival from his distant past. "No, Joe," Donald Triumph replied, trying to keep a straight face. "I'm here to stop your chaos and bring order back to Liberty Heights." With a swift motion, Triumph snatched the scroll from Cadaver Joe's grasp and tore it in half. The skeletal minions crumbled to dust, leaving the crypt eerily silent. Cadaver Joe, now thoroughly confused, looked around as if waking from a dream. "Did we get the soup?" he asked, looking at Donald Triumph with hopeful eyes. Donald Triumph placed a reassuring hand on Cadaver Joe's bony shoulder. "We'll make sure you get your soup, Joe, but for now, let's get you back to your room." As the heroes escorted Cadaver Joe back to his quarters, the crypt began to settle. The skeletal minions were gone, the chaos subsided, and the eerie stillness returned. Liberty Heights was safe once more, thanks to the swift actions of Donald Triumph and his allies. In the days that followed, the citizens of Liberty Heights couldn't help but chuckle at the tale of Cadaver Joe's soup mishap. The story became a favorite among the children, a reminder that even in a world filled with danger and uncertainty, there was always room for a little humor.